Hey there everyone. Today I've got a special guest named Geode visiting from next door. Now, Geode is the big fluffy tail from next door that reminds me of Ciro. Now this is a cat that I remember. See, I've already held him and pet him and he's sick of it, so I just wanted to hold him up for the camera. I'm gonna let him out real quick and tell you about this. Boo-boo-boo. Here you go, fluff tail. Anyways, the little fluffy tail reminds me of Ciro the cat. Before we left Michigan, we had a couple dogs, Sasquatch and Montag, and we had a couple cats named Ciro and Mona. Now I think Mona, because she looked like a Siamese, I think somebody kidnapped her, but we ended up getting Ciro to Florida with us, and Sasquatch and Montag, and then we got to Florida. My first pets, because on the way to Florida, I saw some duckies when we camped out. I've always liked birds, so that's a big part of my growing up now, is having these birds. So my grandma and grandpa had aviaries full of birds, and they had a couple of big green parrots. So anyways, that's my grandma's bird, Lolita. My grandpa's bird, Captain, ended up coming home to live with us. And then my father has always had cats. So Ciro, like that gray one, was the cat, and then since he had passed on, we got Sabrina, and she was the cat. I believe this is her mama, Farina, on duty. So growing up with my dad, we've always had cats in the house. We didn't always have dogs. It seemed like once Sasquatch and Montag were gone, I thought we were never going to have them again. And then we got Kimmy. So I'm going to, I got a whole stack there I'm going to show you. And I got a whole stack of ferret pictures to share. My father's always kept ferrets. I never heard of it till we got to the Florida Keys, and then he came home with a ferret, and his name was Stinky. And since then, there's always been ferrets in the house, and I'm going to share all these lovely pictures of Captain Clunkum. Now, and then coming to Montana, I never thought I'd be a dog person until I met Maya. So Maya was the Rottweiler. I call her the spoiled Rottenweiler. There we are. So anyways, you guys. Alright, so I spread out some pictures of Kimmy. Kimmy was a wrinkly-faced Sharpie dog, so they're called a Shar-Pei. Yeah, and so, anyway, so my grandma took me and my cousins out of town to go to the fun stuff up north in Orlando. And we come home and there's this funny looking dog running loose in the yard, and we're just like, oh my goodness, we're going to have to get this dog out. Turned out it was my parents. My mom comes running up, that's my new dog. Now my Grandma Smith has always had Pekingese dogs. So it seems kind of funny. Anytime one of her Pekingese dogs dies, there's somebody with another one for her. Now, my dad seems to feel the same way about his cats, so I don't have all the cats that he's owned in my pictures, just those, maybe I'm lucky enough to have a couple that I've known. Otherwise, we've had many cats come through our house, because you know what they say, a house without a cat is not a home. Okay, I'm going to show you my big stack of ferret pictures. Now, some of these I think I took before I left the Florida Keys. You know, I took the ferrets outside to do some nature shots, as I call it. Yeah. Now, that's one of the cutest, littlest ferrets. My dad probably sent me that picture. So these are some of the pictures since I moved to Colorado. My dad would send reports from home. And that's my Uncle Don, my dad's older brother. Didn't have a chance to come and visit us very often, but when he did, we always made sure to throw a lot of ferrets on his lap. You betcha. Hey, so just an idea how many pictures I have. So yeah, the ferrets had special indoor privileges where, okay, they were in their cage most of the time, but we let them in for just a little bit. You have to kind of keep them under your supervision, right? Otherwise, they wreak havoc upon the earth. Now, if you're going to have something like this, you got to have accommodation. So one of the things my dad did is he would put little tunnels and stuff like that through the house. Yeah, he was trying to label some of these pictures, like yin and yang and flower, so they all got names. I bet my dad would know every one of them off the top of his head too. Me, I need to cheat and look at the notes so I know who's who. Now I remember Flower because she had that white spot on her head. So I got to meet some of these weasels. And these are ferrets, but they're closely related to the weasels. Now that's at my grandma's house. Can't believe he took those stinkers over there and let them loose. That didn't happen very often. Not very often. Now that's what I'm talking about. You gotta set your ferrets up with little tunnels and stuff to make them happy. See, now they got a cute little camper, a little tent to camp out in the house. Yeah. Oh, that's another classic weasel tunnel. Yepers. Oh, now that's an example of how cute they can be. Now, Captain Clunkum there, he would sit up there on his perch and watch these ferrets playing, and he'd be up there going, you bet he would sit up there and crack up the whole time. So now the thing about these weasels, and they like to get into things like books and records and draw them out, so you gotta watch close. Right? They try to weasel out every chance they can. So this is their outdoor housing, which is nice because it's usually temperate in the Florida Keys. Maybe it's too hot at worst. But the nice thing about having these cages is you could just go out there and hose out the cage to keep the ferret poop out. Anyways, that was a really fun time. My father still has ferrets. Now, I accidentally added this squirrel picture when I moved to Denver. I hadn't seen a squirrel in so long. I thought it was novel to actually see a squirrel again, let me tell you what. Well, before I left Key West, took a couple pictures of Captain outside. Thought that looked real nice. Aww. Captain's a Blue Crown Amazon. And then I ended up getting him in Denver, I think 97 maybe? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Anyways, I thought I will show these because they're kind of a tall stack. Yeah, I had to be separated from Captain for just a little bit, but we managed to get him up to Denver, to my apartment, so that's me in my early 20s. Yeah, now there it is, a classic case of Captain holding the Doritos. Now if you try to hand Captain some lousy plain tortilla chip, he'll just look at it and throw it on the ground. It needs to be Doritos or nothing. You betcha. Yeah, so, I ended up leaving Captain with a friend of mine's father, and we had a falling out, so we weren't in touch. And when those people moved up to a nursing home or some sort of a place for retirement, they weren't able to take Captain, and so we lost him because they ended up taking him to a bird rescue center. So I'm hoping that one day we'll be able to contact that bird rescue center and find out if anyone has adopted him or how he's doing. He's kind of a feisty little critter, so I'm really hoping there was somebody who was compatible with Captain. You know, if somebody adopted him and he's a happy Clunkum. I always used to call him Clunkum. That's my nickname because he'd say Clunkum, Clunkum, Clunkum. Now that's a nice shot. Let me tell you what. Thought it'd be nice to shoot through some of these pictures with you guys. So yeah, that was Captain, my beloved green falcon. And our most recent pet, actually, my most recent pet has been Easter the goose, and I don't actually have any still shots. Everything I have is on my cell phone, and so if you have me on Facebook and you have my YouTube, I've got plenty and plenty of videos of Easter, so should be plenty to satisfy. Anyways, animals have always been a part of my life, and until recently I'm kind of without any. And I get a lot of compliments from people who own animals, like when I'm a pizza delivery driver or come around people whose animals don't know me. I feel like I have good rapport with the animals. Don't always have a good rapport with the humans, but that's kind of probably due to cultural reasons. Otherwise, our natural state is happy, friendly, and playful, and that's why I get along with the animals. Like I said, the cat next door comes to me. I don't even feed him. He just comes over here. I didn't get a very good shot of him, but earlier he came in. He was super affectionate, but then I put him in front of the camera, and he was overheated, and he was done. But he's a sweet, friendly guy, and so I don't have a cat, but I got the neighbor's cat, and as soon as I can resettle and go someplace else, I would love to be sure that I have more animals in my life. Anyways, these have been the animals in my life. You guys have a fun day, and I will talk to you next time.